Hey fam, I'm making this response video to the last video I posted when I was talking about the Thousand Men and Bonnie Blue, and I was talking about the fact that I think that if there was a man that was in that line and went and brought that situation home to his significant other, that should be considered attempted murder against his partner. Um, I got a lot of backlash from that in the comments, which I found to be absolutely hilarious. People taking up for her, saying all the men were tested, as if we don't understand that a lot of sexually transmitted diseases have dormancy periods where they aren't going to show up. There's just a lot of commentary in there that says, like, I should have kept my opinion to myself, which I found absolutely hilarious. She's a public figure by doing what she did, so therefore there's no there's nothing that I owe her in not speaking up about the situation. And I think it's important because it takes away the sacredness of intimacy. And I want to talk about this because this is a rampant problem in society anyway, where women are just willingly giving themselves to just anybody. And there have been a lot of people that they realize as they get older that maybe they fell into that trap in their 20s. Maybe they were surrounded by people that didn't have a high degree of moral integrity. And as they mature, as they have life experiences, as they start to realize that that particular pattern in their life is not conducive to their overall health and well being, they choose not to participate in this. It was funny too because I got a lot of commentary that insinuated that I was in that group that would potentially somehow be connected to a situation like that. And I don't know why I need to state this, but I'm just going to go ahead and state it. I've been celibate for 8 years. I have no interest in dating. I don't date. I'm not actively dating anyone. I don't have a problem with people that date. I just have chosen not to for numerous reasons. And one of those reasons is that the majority, not all, but the majority of situations I've been in the past have been extremely detrimental to my physical safety, my mental health, my sexual health. And as a result of the experiences that I've had that were extremely toxic to my overall health and well being, I have elected to focus solely on my healing. I have even considered becoming a nun because I have been celibate for 8 years. So I did also consider doing that. And this was all motivated by the extremely psychologically abusive and otherwise abusive experiences that I have overcome. It is not anybody's business to try to tell me that I should put myself back out there in the dating market. And I have had that happen too. I have had people that have tried to pressure me to go back out into the dating market. And because of what I've already survived, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to open myself up and open my life up to someone else to decimate me ever again. And perhaps there are people in my past in relationships that will derive some sense of accomplishment and pleasure, feeling like they have done me so dirty and done so much damage that I'm never willing to even consider that possibility again. But the truth is, it had nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with me coming to terms with what is healthiest for me. And it is my healing journey. It's nobody else's healing journey. So if this is what I feel is necessary for my complete and total healing, then that's my personal choice. It's interesting because when it comes to women's personal choice in this area, society doesn't seem to want to get in line with us having an ability to have a choice in that scenario, which I find absolutely insane. Considering what's happened with all of these news articles and things that I've researched when it comes to survivors of sexual assault, how their perpetrators are not held accountable, considering my personal experience with men presenting one way and within a few months being totally different people, totally different and abusive people, I've learned a lot that people wear masks and it often takes a very long time to see behind that mask. So rather than putting myself in a situation to have that unfortunate discovery ever again, I just don't do that. I don't participate. And there are people that have an opinion about that. It seems to be more socially acceptable when men do that. When women do that, there are excuses made. There are excuses made about that, indicating, oh, well, she's damaged or whatever the case may be. If a man is a priest, if a man is a monk, do we assume he's damaged too? This is part of that objectification and ownership ideology that is rampant in the patriarchy that I think needs to be looked at a deeper level. Because it has nothing to do, my choice of celibacy has nothing to do with my gender. It has to do with my healing journey. My experiences that have been traumatic have given me information that will hopefully enable me to facilitate healing in others. That was what I gained from what was taken from me. I hope that makes sense. I don't harbor any more ill will towards the people that seriously harmed me, because I know that God will do with them as he sees fit, and I don't have to intervene. It's not my job. I firmly believe that there are people that did what they did to me or facilitated what was done to me because they profited monetarily off of my destruction. And I think they assumed that I would take a certain path following that destruction. And when I didn't fall in line with that broken version of me that they had tried to facilitate, they lost their minds. I'm kind of sitting back thinking the whole thing is hilarious, because for them to assume that they could play God in my life is the height of hubris and arrogance. And they should be able to sit with what they did, sit with what they've done, have the ability to self-reflect, and acknowledge that the level of narcissistic entitlement that they operate within, it's tragic. I actually feel quite bad for them, because to operate with that myopic perspective of others, you can't really have a very full life when you function at that level. I mean, it's the equivalent of functioning as if you were an emotional troglodyte. So I wish them the best in their intellectual growth journey and their emotional growth journey. I hope that eventually they can attain a certain level of enlightenment so that they no longer feel that they have the right to intervene in someone's life to such an extent that they impede their financial stability, they attempt to traffic them, they use coercive control to isolate and abuse. All of these people have some serious retribution from the Lord coming for them. I actually pray that He is merciful, because what they've done in many people's minds would deserve zero mercy. But our God is a forgiving God, so I guess we'll see how this plays out. Have a blessed weekend.